Hello, everybody. Here we are back again, talking about Mortal Kombat. At this point, after the failure of Mortal Kombat Annihilation
and the mediocre reviews of MK4,
I wouldn't call it mediocre, but compared to the other three, it was a drop.
Yeah.
And the failures of the TV shows and the third movie never happening.
I always forget they were planning on a third, but what was it gonna be?
Quan Chi, probably. Quan Chi for Shinnok would have been my guess.
Yes.
But who cares? Doesn't matter. That movie didn't come out. We were kind of in this bubble, this hiatus of what's going on with Mortal Kombat, and
well, I think it was a hiatus just because it was just overload, and we reached the bottom of it. And I think Ed Boon knew it.
So we were all waiting for a while. What's MK5? What's MK5? Where's MK5? And we finally got it in 2002, which was 5 years after MK4. So that's
It felt longer. Like I always like MK4, then Deadly Alliance, and it just seems like there's a longer gap. But it's only 5.
But 5 years for MK5, which ended up being called Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. It was the first one with the subtitle without a number. And especially after Special Forces flopped and just...
It was the Dark Ages.
So, Deadly Alliance was the first game in the series. Oh, and especially since arcades were dropping out at the time.
What's funny about this, I don't know why, but I remember we'll just go. There's this making of Mortal Kombat feature on this.
It's on Deadly Alliance.
It's on Deadly Alliance. It's like a history, and I swear they were showing Deadly Alliance arcade cabinets.
They were probably teasing making MK5 in the arcades, and it just can't, because arcades were going down the tubes at the time. They're kind of relevant now, kind of not.
But it's mostly at bars.
Mostly at bars and Dave & Buster's and stuff.
I would love the whole arcade scene.
But they don't do it anymore because arcades just aren't as big as they used to be in the 80s and 90s. So they decided we're just going to make this strictly for the console market, which was probably a smart move at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So now we have... This was around the 6th generation of console, so we had this on PS2, Xbox, and GameCube. We don't really talk about the GameCube version.
I didn't even know there was a GameCube version.
So Mortal Kombat 5 ended up being called Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, and I'll explain the title of that in a second.
It's relevant.
But at the time, I'll say this, opinions change, hindsight's 2020. At the time, this seemed like the boost the MK series needed.
Yeah, honestly... In retrospect, it kind of was the boost MKD because it got it back on the scene.
This was, at the time...
Times have changed.
Hindsight, again, 20. At the time, this was the best reviewed and best-selling Mortal Kombat since MK2.
Yeah.
So, this was really the boost the franchise... This and the next game were the boost the franchise needed.
Well, I think this was the match, and the next game was the boom. Let's just say that.
I'm going to say... we'll talk about how we feel about it overall... At the end. I'll talk about how I felt at the time and then how I feel now at the end.
Yeah, I guess me too.
But Deadly Alliance, story-wise, I think is where they took actually a pretty big jump.
The story was more prevalent. I mean, because you could do a lot more with the technology they had. So, I mean, it's more kind of so story's always been relevant.
But they make it more.
I don't even know if that's a word.
It's always been there.
It's always been there.
But it's more on the forefront in this deception.
This is when story became more in forefront.
So, this takes place several years after MK4.
This is the longest gap between games, I think. In terms of development.
Shao Kahn's been defeated, basically. No one's heard from him since MK3. Shinnok's been defeated. Shang Tsung, who knows where he is. So, everyone's just like, okay, cool, whatever.
Quan Chi's stuck in the Netherrealm.
In the Netherrealm, we're going to start there. In the Netherrealm, for years, Quan Chi has been tortured, brutalized, stalked by Scorpion.
Well, let's be real. Kind of deserves more, but...
Scorpion, well, it wouldn't be enough for Scorpion. Scorpion
wouldn't be enough for the fans, but we'll get to that much later.
Been tormenting this guy.
Rightfully so.
He's been just brutalizing him, going after him, probably killing him, bringing him back, ripping him apart, putting him back together.
Well, can you actually really die in another realm? So no. Honestly, he probably it's pretty much like, I'm killing you, but like 10 seconds later he's back to life.
Scorpion's probably just torturing him.
So in the context, Quan Chi's probably died like thousands and thousands of times.
Quan Chi's finally like, I can't do this. I can't do this anymore. So he employs two Oni, Moloch and Drummond, to hold Scorpion off while he gets out of there. So Quan Chi gets out of there and he finds this army.
What I really like in the opening is Quan Chi's literally escaping there, and he looks back to make sure Scorpion's not on his
He
head.
looks terrified.
Like, he does look terrified. So that was really good. Like they did. There's detail.
So he gets out of there, and there's no Shinnok to save him.
Yeah, he's literally on his own at this point.
Now Shinnok's not there. Scorpion's
he's got no one to save his
Scorpion's
ass.
got free reign to be like,
mine.
you're mine. So he finds this army which belonged to someone called the Dragon King. We'll get to him later, but right now just know that the Dragon King was this. He's part of the story, but we don't know who he is yet. But he had this army that was allegedly undefeatable.
You find out why they're undefeatable if you look into the lore.
And you find out more about that in the next game. But he recruits Shang Tsung, who, because Shao Kahn's been defeated, Shang Tsung's got nothing to do, so he's just kind of working for a weakened Shao Kahn.
Yeah, so he's not dead. He's just weak. He's just pretty much sitting on the toilet the whole time.
So Quan Chi and Shang Tsung team up, and they're like,
"Okay,
an idea." So
two sorcerers are better than one.
So they find Shao Kahn, bow to him, and then kill him. Allegedly. We'll circle back.
Honestly, we all should know, like, I don't think even if it's two of them, they could take Shao Kahn.
At the time, it was brutal, though. You see his helmet fly covered in blood.
Yeah, it was very surprising, and it did change what we thought was going to be change the status quo.
And
this still does kind of change status quo.
In their mind, there were only two people that could stop them. First was Shao Kahn.
Yeah.
The second, Liu Kang. So Shang Tsung has himself disguised as Kung Lao. Then he goes after Liu Kang. Liu Kang's like, yo, and he just beats the crap out of him.
Oh, yeah, like, the fight's going in Liu Kang's favor.
And then Quan Chi jumps him. And then Shang Tsung breaks his neck.
Yeah, it's kind of bullshit.
Liu Kang
is dead.
Like, no.
Like, holy, the stakes.
No. Liu Kang's
He's dead. Like, he ain't going. In the terms of everything, the stakes haven't been higher. Liu Kang's fucking dead. So now what?
Shang Tsung takes his soul.
So he's gone.
Raiden's like, nah,
fuck.
Nah. So he's like, screw you, Elder Gods. I'm going to help my homies.
And pretty much what Shang Tsung and Quan Chi are doing is they're literally gathering souls and just putting them into the army.
Because their goal is to get this army and wipe out everybody.
Yeah.
So Raiden comes down there and he recruits whoever he can find. So Johnny Cage, Sonya, Jax, Sub-Zero.
It's honestly because in terms of the lore, there's still a lot more fighters he could have grabbed, but it just seemed like this was a rush job.
It was a rush job. Sub-Zero's new apprentice, Frost.
Ugh.
Boraicho, Li Mei. We'll talk about the new characters later. Story-wise, I'm not going to go over the ending in this video because the beginning of this next game is the ending of this game.
Yeah.
So, we'll talk about the ending there, but that's the setup. Raiden's goal, we gotta stop these guys because this is not good. There's more that goes on in the background of the story with, like, Sub-Zero, Scorpion, that type of thing. Sub-Zero is now the Grand Master of the Lin Kuei.
Yup. Now I'll say my thoughts when we are done with the story.
Which is weird because he kind of defected.
I guess he took it over. He took it back over.
He Sector challenged Sub-Zero.
Now was this during MK4 or
between MK4 and MK Deadly Alliance?
Okay, so yeah, I was right. So it is in between 4 and this.
Why he challenged Sub-Zero?
It makes no sense because wasn't Sector the grand...
Sector would have been next in line.
Yeah.
But Sub-Zero's like...
I guess because Sub-Zero defected and no one truly leaves the Lin Kuei, so they're like, we gotta eliminate him.
So Sub-Zero was like, okay, I guess. And he beats Sector fair and square. He beats him in a fight and takes control of the Lin Kuei and tries to turn them into a force for good. Because this Sub-Zero...
he does succeed in it.
Because this Sub-Zero's not a douchebag. like his big brother.
Has honor.
So he's actually trying to recruit the Lin Kuei to help Raiden stop the Deadly Alliance. And he takes in an apprentice, Frost, who actually is a douchebag. And wants to take Sub-Zero's power for herself because he has this thing called the Dragon Medallion now, which makes him a lot more powerful, but it also makes him look ridiculous.
Ugh.
He's got like frozen arms and he's got white hair.
Alright, you know what? Fuck it. I fucking hate this design. I hate this concept for Sub-Zero. These next 3 games. I think it's the dumbest shit ever.
I like the mask that he has.
Yeah, I like the mask.
I like the suit. Yeah. I just don't like the arms.
I like his alternate costume. That's a lot better than his starter costume.
Like the mask and the
I
suit
just
look
really
cool.
don't like the looks
arms.
for any of the characters in this trilogy.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that
roster.
more. Yeah.
Scorpion's whole thing. He doesn't care about Shang Tsung. He doesn't care about Raiden's thing. He just wants Quan Chi dead.
Yeah, it's funny because they had like this music video or something like that. And
the Immortal song.
Yeah, that song's ridiculous.
It's so bad.
But it makes you think Scorpion's a hero for some reason.
Oh, because he was most popular.
Oh, yeah. But he's really not even on the side of good. He's literally just like, I'm just going after Quan Chi. I don't give a fuck about any of y'all.
So he's hunting him down, and he finds the Oni again, Moloch and Drummond. And they throw him into a Solnado.
Yeah. And that's his ending.
It's canon, too.
It is?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I know Sub-Zero's is also canon.
No, half of Sub-Zero's is, the other half isn't.
Yeah.
Same with Scorpion. Half of it's canon, the other half isn't. Scorpion gets thrown into a Solnado. What happens to him after that, I'll talk about in Deception. Same with Sub-Zero. Frost tries to kill him. The Dragon Medallion is too powerful for her. She freezes. He goes and buries her.
That's it.
You find out, too, there's another clan of bad people called the Red Dragon.
Yeah, it's another dragon clan.
That nobody cares about.
No one. No one cares. I don't know why they bothered.
But story-wise, that's about it. There's more setup for the other 2 games with this character called Blaze.
Oh boy.
Which he will become a big deal at the end of this trilogy.
Yeah.
Believe me.
But honestly, he was started off as a background character. He's a really nothing character.
Until they make him
Until they decide to make him a character.
For some reason.
But that's just the story of Mortal Kombat in general. It's like, we have these background characters with these Easter eggs. Fucking make them a character. So really, it's not out of practice for them.
That's true. They always take these like rumors and fake ideas and make them real things. That's something they've always. That's where Urban came from.
Yeah.
So that's really it. I can talk about story-wise without getting into the next game. So
yeah, because honestly, this is kind of.
This really sets up the next.
This really is just setup. There's really. I mean, other than Liu Kang dying and whatnot, this is mostly setup.
So gameplay-wise, this is almost an entirely new game.
Yeah.
So it's still a fighting game, of course, but
however,
it's now fully 3D.
Yep.
And instead of just fighting each other, you have 3 different two fighting styles and a weapon.
Yep.
And you can freely switch between the 3.
Yeah.
Which makes the fights look more dynamic.
However,
in practice, age-wise, it's a little clunky, and the combo system's not great. You can't really vary off of them. You can't lead a combo into a special move or vice versa.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this at all in the rest of these games also.
And like you can't jump anymore. There's no uppercuts. There's not really sweeps.
And a lot of my problems is you could be doing a move and they'll just move, and I really don't like that about fighting games.
I mean, it works for some games like Soul Calibur and Tekken.
Yeah, that's fine with them. But here and other games, like, I don't know, just give me the classic 2D, no holds bar.
But, I mean...
That being said, I love Tekken, so I don't know, it just works for Tekken.
At the time, it was alright. Like, it was new, and people were getting stale at Mortal Kombat, so we needed something
Yeah,
fresh. It works.
it needed this, I guess. It was an experiment.
The roster is okay. So
I think you can just say that about for the next game also. The roster,
the characters they bring back are pretty cool.
yeah, they're classics.
The new ones,
That's just a problem with this trilogy as a
they're
whole.
very hit and miss. So returning character
But
wise,
mostly kind of forgettable.
for returning character wise, we have Kung Lao, whose first costume sucks.
It looks like It almost looks like a Jackie Chan or Jet Li model, which is cool. But that second costume just hits.
Sonya's back.
Johnny Cage is back.
Johnny Cage.
Cyrax.
Who is good now. Cyrax on the side of good in this one.
Yeah, that I really like that.
Because between 3 and Deadly Alliance, Sub-Zero is able to.
And honestly, in terms of the new looks for everyone,
he looks almost exactly the same.
well, he has the best new design of this entire trilogy.
Scorpion and Sub-Zero, of course, are back. Scorpion's alternate costume's pretty cool with the skull, the flaming skull.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. But that was a thing from.
Reptile's here, and he looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's a giant lizard.
He's a giant lizard.
Reptile actually has a pretty big part in the story I forgot about.
Yeah, we can't really get into that till next game.
We cannot. And we'll talk about that next game. Reptile, though.
I think Lee May's ending's also is canon.
It is and it isn't. We haven't got to the characters. Johnny Cage is back. He's alive now. Which, I mean, he wasn't 4, so I guess there's no surprise to anybody.
Yeah.
But Jax is here. Jax's ending is also canon.
Yep.
Pull up the roster. Make sure I didn't forget anybody. Raiden.
Wait, you can just... In the instruction menu, they have character bias.
Is everyone in there?
Everyone should be in there.
Oh, if everyone's in there. Cool. Yeah, it's been a while since I played this, to be fair. Yep, Katana's in here. Kano's in here. Shang Tsung Quan Chi, of course.
Raiden.
Yep, so now we'll talk about the new characters. So one of the characters I do like, Kenshi.
I think he's the only one everyone legit...
Him and one other.
Yeah.
Kenshi's cool. Like, he's a blind sorcerer swordsman. He's kind of badass.
Yeah.
Bo Raichu. I like Bo Raichu.
I think he's ridiculous.
That's why I love him. He's a drunken fat jackass.
But, I mean, it is a fighting style. You act drunk or you are drunk to fight. But
you actually find out he's the guy who trained Liu Kang.
But, I mean, the puking and the farting, it's like...
I think it's funny.
I don't know. It's very juvenile.
Draman is disgusting.
Who the fuck remembers Draman?
Nobody.
Yeah, that's my problem.
Frost is basically just a female Sub-Zero.
She's a jerk.
She's an asshole. Su Hao. Oh my god.
Su Hao.
Su Hao.
Yes, Su Hao.
Su Hao. I mentioned this, I think, in the MK4 video.
Yeah.
This is, to me, the bottom of the barrel Mortal Kombat character.
Nope. Not for me. That's the next game.
And they hated him so much that they actually made Jax's ending where he rips out his heart cannon.
I mean, Su Hao, there's nothing to him. What does he do?
Exactly. Lee May's cool.
Lee May is a jerk.
Only in her deception ending.
Yeah. But there's really nothing to her. There's nothing that makes her stick out.
No, she's.
But you can say that about all the new characters from this and the next game.
Honestly, Mavado is another red dragon, and he sucks. He's boring, but he has Cabal's hooks
For some reason.
He killed Cabal.
Killed.
We'll get back to that next game. But in terms of this game, it says straight up he killed Cabal.
Yeah, so at the time we think Cabal is dead.
Which is just
bullshit.
Natara, I mean, it's cool there's a vampire in
there.
there.
Idea is cool,
but
in practice...
Yeah, she gets cut in half by Kung Lao in the Mortal Kombat movies, so...
Yeah.
And then the sub-boss, Moloch. He looks like a gorilla.
Yeah, he's a gorilla.
He's nowhere near as cool as Goro, Kintaro, or... No, actually I like him a little bit more than Mataro, I'll be honest.
Really?
I don't like Motaro at all.
Wow, why? I love Motaro.
I hate Motaro. I think Motaro sucks.
I like Motaro in 3.
If we're talking sub bosses,
Oh no, it's sub
Goro
bosses.
is always gonna be.
Nah, man, Kintaro all the way. Kintaro, he's a freaking tiger.
Yeah, that's why he's only been in 3 games.
I don't care. Yeah, Goro's classic, 100%, but Kintaro's badass.
But Moloch's just there.
Yeah.
So boss wise, you fight Shang Tsung and Quan Chi at the end. That's who you fight.
They're pretty easy.
Compared to a lot of other boss. Moloch's harder than they are.
Yeah. It's cool that Shang Tsung's a final boss again.
Yeah, that is cool. Quan Chi, who cares?
I really hate Quan Chi, and this is the game that brings us the goddamn outfit that he just stays in.
He has it for every game after this until MKX.
And it's cool at first, but it's such a lazy. It just shows laziness.
Reuse his design over
and it's just a small personal gripe we share
over again.
It's a small juvenile personal gripe, but god damn it, it's just so stupid. And it's also partial the reason why I hate Quan Chi.
Going back to gameplay for a second.
Yeah,
the special move counter has been dramatically reduced. Scorpion can't teleport anymore.
No.
Sub-Zero doesn't slide anymore. He shoulder charges.
I hate the shoulder charge.
Scorpion does some cool moves. Like, I like the fire summon.
Oh, yeah, that's actually
I like the backflip kick. I think that's cool. But where's his teleport?
Yeah,
Right shows, like, he pukes now.
Yeah.
Now, as if he was in the game before. He pukes. Does Reptile have his force ball? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Shang Tsung cannot shapeshift anymore, which I understand console limitations. Like, I get it.
But
you can do it. You can still do it in continuity, but in gameplay, I get it. It wouldn't really be able to work on the PS2.
Yeah.
Later games he can do it, but PS2, I get it. But the game focuses more on the combos, which I understand they want to take the game in a different direction, but Mortal Kombat characters all have those special moves.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat was definitely about the special moves, it seems like.
Scorpion, of course, still has a spear.
Well, Sub-Zero
still has his ice ball.
you can't get rid of those.
But
I think those are like the 3. Other than anything Liu Kang does, those are the main.
Oh, the bicycle kick.
Yeah, those are like the 3 mains.
It is weird having an MK game without Liu Kang on the roster.
It is.
It's strange.
Like I said, like they definitely changed things. They changed the status quo.
Fatality-wise, the ones that are in here are actually kind of cool, except for Quan Chi's.
Yeah.
But there's only 1 per character now.
Honestly, I think I went back and watched the fatalities for this game.
1 per character. No friendships.
Honestly,
no babalities.
Honestly, the fatalities are kind of lame or like forgettable.
No friendships, no babalities, no animalities, nothing.
Actually, yeah, I'm just gonna keep saying it. Like that's this entire trilogy. I don't even know what you call this trilogy, but all the fatalities are kind of forgettable.
I don't know about that. There are some that are better than others, but
it's mediocre.
We actually, in terms of modes, they added a lot.
Yeah.
To this, so test your sight, test your might is back, which we haven't seen since MK1, but now they have test your sight. Okay. Conquest mode.
Yeah, Conquest Mode is really a big deal in this one.
It's a glorified training mode.
Yeah. The next game and the game after that, Conquest will probably go more depth about.
Pretty much.
Yeah, but this is just, it's training.
And then the big one is the Crypt.
Oh, yes, the Crypt.
Oh, boy. Here's my thing with the Crypt. You have from A to Z, A, B, all the way to A, Z, Z. You have like 600 something coffins you can unlock.
Yeah.
That takes currency. Building up currency takes a very long time. Unlocking the whole crypt is a nightmare. It takes forever.
Yeah.
And the only things you're going to really want in there are the extra characters and the fucking extra costumes.
And cooking with Scorpion.
And cooking with Scorpion, exactly. I don't want to spend all this money to find concept art or old videos or commercials.
That's cool.
Or Baraka's ending from Mortal Kombat Gold.
Or Scorpions. Why are the MK Gold endings in this?
It's just...
I never understood that. Honestly, the only thing worth it in this is cooking with Scorpion.
I don't mind unlocking fighters in a fighting game. But let's, for example, Tekken. Use Tekken 3 as an example here. If I beat the arcade mode, I unlock a character.
Yeah.
Why do I have to go spend 3,000 coins in the crypt to go unlock Cyrax?
Yeah, I hate this idea. Also, it's almost like paying for DLC that's already on the game.
It's annoying.
It is like. This is how it's done. You beat the arcade, you get a character.
That's how I expect it to be. And to their credit, in the later games, like 9x11,
everyone's unlocked.
Except for one, and you just have to play the story mode to unlock them.
Yeah.
Problem solved. Like, cool. I could play through the story mode. I was going to anyway.
Yeah.
But it's frustrating.
Yeah.
Graphically, for the time, it was actually pretty good.
Graphically for the time, it was really good. It's not really aged
This
well.
is the first game that they have, like, actual damage on their bodies.
Is it, though? Like, it's more... Oh, yeah, then, yeah.
You can actually see, like, the blood dripping down their bodies and bruises and stuff. It's not, like, perfect because it's a PS2, but...
Really, all it is just, like, you'll see, like, a bruise on their face and some...
Lots of blood dripping down their bodies. Like, it's cool. Like, you'll see puddles of blood on the floor.
Yeah, that was actually really cool about it. Like, there's just puddles of blood as you fight.
And as much as the 3D movement's kind of bland, it's cool that you can interact with the environment a little bit more.
Yeah.
Other than that, at the time when I was out of Mortal Kombat for a really long time.
Yeah.
I didn't really get an MK4
us
as a kid.
Everyone, I think at the time.
I didn't really get an MK4 like that. I hadn't been super big into it since I was a kid. I was at the store with my dad. I think you were there. And I saw Deadly Alliance, and I was like, oh, I want that. So my dad was like, okay.
I didn't give a shit.
To give Deadly Alliance some credit, when I bought... This is actually the game that made me go full-blown...
Into
the MK scene. So I have a lot of respect for Deadly Alliance in that regard. So I actually have a lot of, like, attachment to Deadly Alliance. As a game, at the time I loved it. At the age of 29, I can appreciate what it was trying to do.
Yeah.
But it has not aged gracefully.
Pretty much like how I said, it's an experiment. And honestly, you could say that about the next two games. It's an experiment, honestly.
Do I think Deadly Alliance is a bad game? No.
No, there's definitely worse fighting games out there. You could get something out of this.
Do I think it's great? If you liked it when it came out, you'll probably still enjoy it. If you pick it up now, you're not going to.
No.
If you were going to buy a Mortal Kombat game now, I'm not going to tell you to buy the PS2 trilogy.
No, definitely not. I honestly, I'd tell you stay away.
Honestly, if you've never played it before, I wouldn't even bother. Especially since the new games don't really pay attention to this.
Yeah, I mean, you'll get hints of some of the characters from this trilogy, but nothing. They're not really focal points
For the time,
except for Kenshi.
Bull Raicho. In one game. For the time, this was good. Like, when it came out, this is what the MK series needed. And nowadays, it's kind of fallen into obscurity.
Yeah. No one really talks about these anymore.
No one does. They're doing retrospective MK videos.
Yeah.
Like I said, I can't, as much as I want to continue the story, I can't until the next video.
Yeah.
The roster's mixed.
Yeah.
Fatalities are okay. The story's decent. The music's okay. The graphics are good.
Yeah.
So, if you have it, if you're just collecting the MK games,
Get it?
You kind of need it.
You do need it.
If you're just casually into Mortal Kombat, like you started with, let's say, MK9 or MKX, don't even bother.
Yeah, if you want old Mortal Kombat, you go to the original trilogy.
Yeah, honest MK2 specifically, but
yeah,
I think unless you got something you want to add, I'm all set on Deadly Alliance.
Just in terms of like character designs, like I hate this era because a lot of characters that their designs are just super busy, and it just doesn't look good nowadays. Like especially Raiden.
Raiden looks great.
Raiden, Johnny Cage, Sonya, Jax. Cyrax holds up the best, I think, in this entire
I
trilogy.
like Sub-Zero's alternate costume.
Yes, Sub-Zero and Scorpion are alright in this one. I don't like Scorpion's design in the next game.
I like his alternate costume in the next game.
Yeah, his alternate one's a lot better. But it's
But
pretty much just the MK4 costume.
which is fine.
Yeah, which is fine.
But
I can't stand Sub-Zero's costume in the next game.
oh, we'll talk about that.
You fucking rode that hype train.
At the time,
Yeah.
hindsight.
Thank God you grew up and had developed taste.
Hindsight.
It's 2020.
Yeah.
But yeah, like character designs are they're super busy. Oh god, Shang Tsung's outfit. Oh, it's so bad. But yeah, other than that, I really got nothing to say because honestly, this game's kind of mediocre. But then again, this whole trilogy's kind of mediocre.
I will say this is an improvement on MK4.
Yeah, it's definitely an improvement, but still mediocre, and I think that's its biggest sin.
Yeah, it's just kind of there.
Yeah.
It's just kind of fallen into obscurity.
Yeah.
But, anywho, thank you guys so much for watching. Next up will be the sequel to Deadly Alliance, Mortal Kombat Deception.
Yes.
So I hope you guys stick around for that one. Until then, take care.
Bye.